ship to actually make sure that we can hold them. Or we have to store them somewhere in the Charon, or somewhere near the Charon relay.
What if the people that we hired, and this would take a large amount of money up front, so I don't know the financial situation, you handle that. What if we could hire a crew of humans to purchase these on our behalf, transport them all the way to the Sharon relay for us, or meet us somewhere else first where we can do the modifications to them, and then transport them to the Sharon relay for us. And then as we're approaching Pluto, there's going to be some sort of detection of us. I don't know how soon or how late it will be. We don't have to let them know because the base is hidden. The people that are working for us won't know that the base is there. We just send them ahead, like, buy us more time. We're paying you to do this, mercenaries. Hold them off. And then they kind of fly towards the planet, and then we're not the ones killing them, she says, with a big smile to Winnie. They're just doing their contract of holding them off against those coming at us, and, you know, human blood on human hands. Nobody really cares about human on human crime. And we then finish our task, and we buy ourselves a few extra moments. I mean, sure, we have to pay them money, and because they get blown up, we never get the credits back that we agreed to give them because they'd be blown up. But, you know,
that all seems like a very roundabout way.
It's think it's a terrible plan.
It also goes.
Andre, you think everything's a terrible plan except for landing on the
plane. Your
plane.
plan is to go in and physically drill them into the ground.
I'm just thinking, how long does it take to drill one hole?
Use the drills as they were intended. If you want to throw nuclear spears at the planet, perhaps you could build some.
How?
I don't know. I might have a plutonium
drill and arm these things, Scott.
I'm sorry.
How long would it take to individually drill, put the spike in, and arm it and everything?
That's a really good question. It would require you guys to do a little bit of research and whatnot. But again, you're dealing with negative 220. What is it? What's the temperature? Negative 229 Celsius or negative 380 degrees Fahrenheit combination of ice and rock. That is really difficult to drill through. It's futuristic technology, but you're talking hours for each individual one.
Don't you get it?
This is the end game
heist.
Yeah.
It's going to take forever. It's going to be really hard. It's the end game heist.
Yeah.
That's why I want to go on the planet and actually do it. Instead of just slinging fucking rocks at it.
I just don't see it working.
I don't see your plan working.
I mean, we can try. We can try.
Look, Krax is still over the point. We can drop an asteroid on the base and then go down and drill.
Moving an asteroid's a lot more difficult than just moving an asteroid.
Very well.
Yeah, you have to change the whole trajectory, not just drag it somewhere.
You have to change everything about it, and moving an asteroid is... You're moving an asteroid.
Krax just folds his arms and just kind of shrugs a bit and just goes, well, I didn't know you weren't that confident in your piloting skills to be able to do that.
Listen, you're talking about like a pie jack moving a family of Krogan.
He just like puts his hand up and says, no, I understand you're saying that you're not skilled enough to do that.
No.
Okay. We just don't have the
I am not.
All right, so I'm going to take 2 weeks, and I'm going to work on the actual things we need to do to arm these things and push them into the ground. You guys decide how we're going to do that. Just know that I'm really good at darts.
Yeah, I'm going to keep going over these calculations.
I want to add that the game we played, Winnie, was called Pool. Yeah, we played pool. Cattle played darts.
Yep.
I know, it's just very funny.
That was...
Love it.
Oh my god. I imagine she says that as she's walking out of the room and Andre's just like, point.
Excuse me.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
Andre doesn't care what plan happens, but she's going to be snooty about it if it isn't hers.
I missed hanging out with you guys.
You can't say Andre doesn't care.
I missed hanging out with you guys.
Well,
god, this is such good
fun. I'm going to go on
fun.
the planet because I think that'll be very badass and terrible.
Very terrible.
It's going to be very terrible.
Did I remember that, kind of 2 of our 4 party members are non-combatants. Like Winnie can snipe, but then people are going to get up close and sneeze on her. She literally dies.
Yeah.
And Cattle will be like, "It's cold." So, yeah.
And then die as soon as someone gets a sniper rifle pointed my way.
Yeah.
I'm getting too old for this shit. That'd be Cattle. Campaign's going on for a couple of months. He's almost dead, man.
Yeah.
So it's up to you guys.
Crew of 5, 3 of us are like non-combatants.
So obviously, Trimmy is going for what she thinks is the safer option for herself, but she's the one in the ship. She could always fly away, so she's down for either option. Let's take it out of game now for decision making. For us to make these decisions, there are a couple of other bits of information you guys wanted. What bits of information do you need to procure to? Ollie's pretty set for 2 reasons. One, he thinks that the likelihood of success, no matter how many of them you drop from space is slim, because you're just too many factors involved in landing this thing the correct way, arming it, blah, 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 blah. And 2, from a PC or game player perspective, it's going to be a lot more fun doing it the other way. So he has that kind of like double thing going on. Cattle, I think, is kind of in the idea of, I don't want to die. And one means suicide. The other means, I don't know who those were. I don't know what you're I was over here the whole time. I don't know.
They
Cracks
just fell out of the sky one day.
Boom. Cracks just wants death, and so that's kind of like he's the leaf in the wind. Yeah, leaf in the wind.
He wants everyone to be happy except the people that die.
Erin, what is your? I know you're leaning towards Cattle's plan or Tremmy/Cattle's plan, because Tremmy's opinion doesn't actually matter when it comes down to it. What information do you need to help you solidify your way one way or the other?
We need a way to get onto the planet without being seen. If we're going to do it that way. Because what's going to happen is we're going to land. It's not going to happen. We're going to land. We're going to spend hours setting up the first spike, and they're going to send people. And then we're never going to get to set a second spike.
And that's all assuming they don't
That's
have
why
any
we
ships.
That's why we
Best
have
case
2
scenario?
groups, and we'd go.
Okay, so best case scenario, we land on the planet. We drill 1 spike. We drill 2 spikes, okay? They send people after us. We can maybe set down 2 more after that, but we're definitely not going to set down the last 2. I just don't think it's possible. I don't think it's feasible. The time span it would take, I just don't think is realistic.
So let's take this one step at a time. Let's take this one step at a time. So you can keep going in a second. Tremmy can tell you, getting on the planet without being detected. If you and Cattle are on point with your fluctuation of the systems, going sensor ghost and all that stuff, going on the far side of the planet, staying low to the ground so you're able to use the electromagnetism of the planet and whatnot to mess up their sensors, that whole bit, you're going to be able to get to at least point A with, again, everybody doing well. You can get to point A without being detected. That she's not concerned that, well, obviously there's concern, but she knows that there's a chance to get to where you want to be without being detected. That is feasible, if difficult. So just to rest that aside as an impossibility. The rest of your stuff is timing. So go ahead.
Rest of timing. As to each spike has to be like individual, or to be like perfect and on point for dropping it. We have 5 points in the party pool. So I think we can guarantee get 5 points, get 5 spikes in. I'm just
kidding. Actually, for the records, I think somebody...
We're talking out of game right now, so I'm saying that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And actually, Silencio Steve, where is it? A couple hours ago, actually add one to the point of luck. So actually,
we have 6.
6 points.
Out of game
Of
thought
luck.
process, if we destroy the Cerberus base by slinging nuke sticks at it, something bigger is gonna happen, and that does worry me. Like there's just like
Well,
out
I mean,
of the
we're
fucking
all-
void, a big like Cerberus spaceship.
Because this is
goes-
book 2. This is book 2 in a trilogy, and so Ollie's worried about book 3.
I'm worried about the last chapter, because no last chapter ends with and they did it the safe way and they won. Never.
Hey,
Well, we
hey!
haven't,
All you have to do
like,
is make
looked
out
at
with
the
your
fact that they
sister.
might have spaceships.
All you have to do is make out with
But
your
then we'll
sister
have, like,
after you
5
come out of a
million
back to
credits.
tank and stare off into space through a piece of glass.
Sorry, culture. That's okay.
Look,
We'll
so I'm
see.
saying, episode 2 or episode 6, you just got to stare off into space as you close the last chapter, and worry about episode 7 when you get there.
Exactly. Now, see, this is not the Battle of Endor. This is not the third of the originals. This is the second of the originals. Nothing. We're gonna, you know, we're gonna
Which
get
means
fucked.
it's gonna get
We're gonna get
really
fucked.
dark before it
Exactly.
gets better, yeah.
We're gonna.
We're gonna do a trench run, fail it horribly, smack into the bottom, and just be like, "Yep,
Exactly.
that's it. See you tomorrow."
So
That process.
Or it's Rogue One, and we're all gonna die.
oh god, don't even get me into Rogue One.
love
Rogue One.
What?
Nothing. Continue.
Erin, you had a third point, and I interrupted you to kind of cover your first couple points.
Oh, I don't remember what that was.
It was how to get there, the amount of time for each individual spike. Let's
Yes.
say we got 2, they came, we were somehow able to hold them off. Maybe
So,
got 2 more.
So if we maybe get on there unseen, place the first one, is there any guarantee that we can do the other ones just as sneakily? Are we because we're gonna go around their base like in a circle, and they're not gonna see us at any point in time.
And none of you guys are trained miners, but let's assume that the task is simple enough, or that the AI and whatnot is simple enough that you can you know what I mean, blah, 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 that you can set this up. Well, another option for timing is, instead of staying there and working on each individual thing, is, let's say, again, this is cost and transportation, you bring 6 pieces of mining equipment, you put the drill thing down, and you set them all up so they're effectively, like, as soon as you set this one up, it's taking care of itself. Go over here. So by the time you're done taking care of number 6, the first one's just finishing, is that they're all kind of taking care of themselves.
That could work. We could do that.
That's a lot of money, a lot of transportation, still a lot of setup, and still a lot of moving, but they're eventually going to notice
the
that
space
movement.
for all of that on a ship.
Yeah, they're eventually gonna notice it. Maybe not.
Unfortunately, with this size of ship, no. But then again, with your last ship, no either. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
bringing things there makes it difficult, which then brings you back to my point of, is there somewhere nearby where you can kind of like leave stuff? But then, even then, you're going back and forth between Pluto
right.
and this dump spot. You
I
know,
also,
like,
yeah, I don't want to really like leave the nuke sticks in like an asteroid belt. That doesn't sit right.
oh, I'm pretty sure Pluto has a moon, doesn't it?
It did. It blew up. It was
the
Karen.
Yeah. But I thought it had another
blew
moon.
up.
Yeah, it also has Hydra,
Oh,
Kerberos, Nyx,
Cool.
Styx.
Hydra.
Yeah. So it
I
does
mean,
have
if-
moons.
I might be crazy, but isn't there like a second asteroid belt near Pluto? Like a further one?
Well, technically speaking, outside of every solar system that we at least are able to discover or theorize, is a whole bunch of floating chunks of ice that almost make like a
there's other
protective shell.
exoplanets and-
Yeah, and those move for the most part in a pattern. So, yes and no. Catch what I'm saying? You know, it's like
Yeah,
Even then,
I-
if you keep
like,
going in and out of
it's
Charon
like-
just to go to like the outer asteroid belt,
it's
that's going to be
potential, but it's still pretty terrible.
yeah. It is funny
suspicious.
that they're called Styx, Nyx, Kerberos, which is very similar to Cerberus, right? Because it's spelled with a K. Kerberos and Hydra, and then of course Sharon. These are all very dark, like Hydra, you know. Karen, you know, the boatman, right? Styx is in the river of. Kerberos, which looks like Cerberus. I don't know what Nyx is, aside from like a Nixie Fae. I don't know what Nyx is, but or do you Nyx something? But it's funny that they all have
Is it NYX?
an IX.
Ah.
Yeah. But then again, Kerberos is spelled with a K as opposed to Cerberus, so I just thought that was, again, and not USOS, so. But it's funny. Naming conventions of
Nyx
humans.
is the god of the night, by the way.
Who is?
Nyx.
Oh, is it?
God of night. Yep.
Of what culture?
Greek.
Is it?
Yeah.
Don't remember that.
I thought it was spelled differently.
No, it's NYX.
Oh, no,
Oh,
it's this one's NIX, but then again,
Oh, NIX.
But then again,
Yeah.
Kerberos as opposed to Cerberus, so it
Yeah.
could be one of those like it's actually Roman. You know what I mean? Because very likely it is. Just like, you know, instead of it being Zeus, it's Jupiter.
I
instead
think that's because it rang a bell for me too. I think that's what it's going for. It's
Yeah.
just it's not Greek. It's just something like
of,
Greek.
it's just Roman. It's just like, yes, these are our gods the whole time. Yes, Jesus was born on the 25th with trees.
Nyx also means like to end something.
Yeah.
And then just nix that.
But that's Latin, as opposed
let's
to
just
Greek,
nix
which is
this
what we're
conversation.
assuming. Yeah. Well, because it's naming conventions of planets are
Yeah.
Greek Roman, so
Yeah.
that's where astrology really came from.
Mm-hmm.
Astronomy. My apologies. Let's not talk about birth signs.
I'm a Sagittarius.
All right.
I don't know what I am. I do, but I don't care. Do you want to know? moving on.
You want to get slightly back on a track?
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't even need.
No,
We don't need to be
we're
on
too
both
far
tracks,
gone.
but
Just
a
nuke it
track.
from
Far
orbit,
gone.
just to be sure.
All right, so you could theoretically have like a stash over on one of the other moons, but that seems kind of goofy, right? So that option is totally an option, and Aaron, actually, you seem to be happy with the idea of being able to do all that. Like, you know what? That actually might be feasible because we could actually set up and go, and kind of like let them take care of themselves. You actually seem to be happy with that. The issue with that is the transportation and carrying of all those things. How do you guys intend to do that? Do you want to go and find a large transport vessel, pirate it, and just like steal a bigger ship?
Garg.
Cracks, is that your cup of tea? Like, you know what? We have a war vessel. Let's use this to steal a big transport and do it that way.
And then we
More
crash the
illegals there.
transport into the base.
Won't work. The protective shell is too thick. That's the idea.
Say that, but
It's like if you just drop nukes
But
right
have
on
we
top of it, it
tried?
won't do anything.
anybody tried,
Math tells you no.
but we haven't tried.
What about blowing up the power plant of the thing when it collides? I don't know. I'm almost on board with just capturing a giant cargo vessel and just be like, "Nyeh."
If you're talking like a fucking battle cruiser, like a capital ship, sure. Yeah, if you're dropping a
Destiny
Star
Ascension, they don't need
Destroyer
it anymore
or
anyway.
the Destiny Ascension, and you're dropping, sure. But if you're just talking about a transport vessel,
So
It's-
let's go get
Right.
Destiny Ascension.
Entourage will melt on board. We're just gonna sit there and carry her along the way, and then it will all go
I
swimmingly.
can't bang an entire capital ship at once.
Have you tried?
Have you tried? Math says no,
I'm gonna
but
need more than a week off after that.
have you tried?
Look, till
We're
someone
gonna have to work on
tries.
your stamina.
Yeah, but for the most part, Krax is on board with Ontario's plan of actually let's just go down there and fucking.
It'll be a
Do it.
walk in the park for a Krogan.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's a thing. What if we go with the plan of nuclear darts? Can we then tell if they're inserted correctly according to plan?
You can watch the trajectory literally the entire time that they descend. Literally the entire time they fall, you can watch the trajectory, and so you can tell up until the point of impact, and definitely afterwards, if they actually impacted correctly. So sure, yeah, you can watch millisecond by
What if we get a
millisecond.
drill, and we then do the nuclear darts, and then we go to fix any of them that might be wrong?
Well, the
So
idea
it's
of the
kind of
nuclear
like-
darts is that once you drop them, you can explode them almost immediately afterwards. Because as soon as you drop those things, like unlike you guys landing on the far side of the planet and sneaking away, you drop those motherfuckers, whether it be 6 or 50 of them, you drop those things from orbit, they're going to see them coming. They're going to be like, wait, what's that? You know, the good side is they're not really, as far as you can tell from the survey report that you got, they don't really have anti-aircraft. They don't have like a whole bunch of
That we know
missile
of.
bunkers sitting above that are going to take anything coming down towards them, because that would be too obvious. Their base is hidden. It's secretive. Their way of protecting themselves is actually their virus that they have, right? That wipes out people's life support, right? So they don't have like missile bays above ground. They're too easily detected. So they're not worried about them being able to shoot them out of the sky, but they're gonna know they're coming. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like, okay, well, we did that. Now let's covertly sneak down and hope they don't like check out what's going on. I punched you in the face. Hope you don't notice me sneaking away. You know.
Now I'm gonna step away and be like, "Oh, where'd I go?"
Oh. So,
I don't suppose we have any idea how strong their sensors are, right?
You imagine state of the art for human technology.
And we don't
So
know
terrible.
that they're not actually video game AI. If we shoot one in the foot and walk away, it might search for a little bit and then think it was nothing.
Must have
was
been the
that?
wind.
Must have been the.
Must have been the
Relay.
wind.
You literally have a huge like UPS cardboard box over the Iron Talon, so which hasn't been renamed yet.
Because it was nothing.
Now, at this point in the conversation, Callow's actually going to suggest something that, wasn't
Uh-oh.
really on the table before, but since we're now very discussing the idea of drilling into stuff, how about we do infiltrate the base, we fuck up their sensors with a crap ton of explosives, then get out of there and do the thing we want to do in peace, or drop it from space, because at that point they don't have any eyes. They'll realize that shit's going down, but we might be able to make large enough gap.
Correct.
Did
That's
we
a
could-
suggestion.
Isn't the base underground, Scott?
Yes.
That's a tiny issue.
Why don't we just get a nuclear warhead, detonate it over the base? That way, there's a radiation cloud above the base that will fuck with their sensors.
I'm
Not
not
even the
sure
worst
if an
idea,
EMP
actually.
works without an
Oh,
atmosphere.
Oh no,
give
it's the
credit to
radiation.
No,
Call's plan.
That's actually not a horrible idea, using effectively EMP and radiation and whatnot to fuck with their
Yeah.
sensors. The problem is, technically speaking, Pluto is being blasted with solar radiation constantly. It's a different type of radiation. I get that. But technically speaking, it's being blasted with solar radiation constantly because there is no atmosphere there, right? Even though, as far as it is from the sun. So it will be something that could work, maybe not to the same effect as it would be on something that has like sensors that are more adapted to different atmospheres or whatever. But it's something that
Yeah, they're
certainly
going to
could
be hardened.
it certainly could cause a fritz. Like there's no question about that. It certainly could, because you're dealing with signals
It's
passing
basically chaff.
through,
It's-
not actual damage
Yeah,
to
we're
the,
throwing
the
a
machinery.
handful of radiation chaff at them.
Yeah, it's actually again not a terrible idea.
It
Not
only
bad.
needs to work for like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
To give credit to Caddle's plan of sneaking in, me and
We'll all
Caddle
die.
as a team are actually quite good at stealthy and breaking things.
Hey, you're
That's
part
the
of-
thing I can do. I can stealth. So we could actually.
So-
The issue would be getting.
If you remember the first time,
there are air
The
vents.
issue
There are
would be
this that, and the
getting-
other thing.
No,
of
but
course.
the issue would be like we'd probably want a separate shuttle to not give everything away. If we had that or another ship, sure. But if we were gonna do that and then you were gonna sling them, definitely we'd want a separate ship.
So we
If
are
were gonna do
going
that.
Rogue One style. Spoiler alert. You're going to have a few of you on the base
Uh-huh.
getting ready to ruin sensors or do whatever you need to do, so that as the rest of the plan is kind of like being done, you guys are disrupting
It's
enough from
just-
the inside.
it-
Then
from-
hopefully get on the shuttle and get away in time.
Thinking about it technically, like a smart boy, to
So-
use our strengths. Me and Cattle going on the planet and trying to disable some stuff.
And
is
Winnie Cracks and
actually
And then
Tremmy dropping from
we could-
space, so you're kind of like doing the two. Is that what you're saying? Or are you saying drill from the outside while you guys are sneaking? Like,
I'm saying we
it
should
worked-
drill. I'm saying that Krax and I should go in and drill, and you guys should go into the base. I think that would work.
so by the
Yeah.
time they're
That would
going to be
work.
like, what's happening out there with the drilling? You guys are like, hey, don't mind this explosive in your own base. And they're like,
Yeah.
never mind what's going on out there. What's going on in
Exactly.
here?
Exactly.
Steal their intel while we're there.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
our big
Alright.
bonus.
Well, I
That's
think
like a side objective.
after
that I-
4 hours
Okay.
of back and forth, we have a plan everybody's
plan?
kind of happy with.
Okay.
Okay, and then we drop the nuke on the base, right?
And then we
Yes,
maybe
after
we have
that.
And then asteroids.
We just
Then we
roll
asteroid
out
the
the
base.
ship as we leave.
We can
Look.
throw all the asteroids after we crack that like surface area open.
Now-
Yeah, when
once
we
again, Crash
open
rolled
up
a two.
the
This
GUI
is the plan.
center.
But where does the Destiny Ascension tie into all of this?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, before we go to break, I just want to make sure that we're good on this one, okay? I want to make sure we're clear. The idea is that Tremmy flies in low and slow. Low and fast, sorry.
Just like the song.
Get you guys there as best of her ability without ever being detected, drops off the shuttle within the actual like planet's atmosphere and very close to the ground, so you guys can make your way as close as you possibly can, and then you two infiltrate your way into the base. Of course, we have to procure a shuttle first. Don't worry about that yet. Then, while you guys are infiltrating the base, they immediately go to point 1 of 6. Set up mining equipment and start drilling to have the first spot set in. Because the idea is to do the drilling, not the dropping. Correct, Aaron and Frank, not you two.
Yep.
Okay. Here's my question for that part. Are we trying to get more than one drill so we can kind of like set up and go? Or are we trying to go with one drill and doing the best we can?
Set up and go. I think we can afford it.
Trying to get to 6 drills. We're going to get to the complications of that in a second. Up to 6, the best of your
There's a
ability.
lot of complications with
That was the original question. Is where are we gonna buy the drills?
Okay, Tremmy is
So
of
we're
course
down the drills, but
Tremmy
okay.
is of course your transport. The two of them are taking care of themselves. They have their own shuttle. It's their job to get to a scoopable area so she can grab them and go, right? Push that aside. As for that shuttle itself, can it get into, because you guys are transporting so much shit in your thing, you guys are going to need a tender mount for that shuttle to be able to attach on the outside, so it makes the dislodge, the reconnect, and the fact that you guys are transporting a bunch of shit as it is easier. So tender mount is another thing to worry about. Transport's something to worry about.
That takes power and mass,
Now-
none of which we have.
Don't worry about that. We can get to the logistics in a second. We have another hour of chatting. And then Frank, over to you. Did you still need to, not want to, did you still need to use a nuclear warhead to disrupt their scanners? If so, when and why? Like, why do the scanners still need to be disrupted? Never mind what they're doing on the inside.
On our active party members.
Yeah, I was going to say, since we'll probably have 2 people over there, I don't think it would be wise to drop a nuke.
Mm-hmm.
But if they want to place a nuke in the base...
In the base itself, it's going to be way harder to sneak up. Like, if you're talking like a small little bomb or a transportable bomb, we've already got some STG. We've already got some STG stuff, so you've already got some decent explosives.
That's Crax's suggestion. Hey, guys, if we got a nuke and if Kyle wants to say, well, I have a couple SG whatever stuff that is essentially a small nuclear device.
It's sexually transmitted germs.
Yet. I'm still waiting for the list.
Well,
I know explosives were mentioned, but
you have grenades and you have like actual plantable like explosives. Like what are they called, Frank?
Sukes?
The demo charges, but like souped up ones. All right, so I think we're good. I think we actually have a plan. Did I cover everything?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Crax and Winnie will shoot the guys when they come. And Andre and Cal.
Let the man take us to break, dang
Yeah,
it.
I was gonna say let's go to break.
Yeah.
Let's go to break. Everybody can let their brain fart for a second. All right. We'll see y'all shortly.